Welcome to another biblically based look into today's news from Christian Voice New Zealand. Now here's Mike Bain.
Hello. How often does it happen today where the secular world and Christianity, well, they can reach an agreement, and it doesn't matter which version of the Bible that they use? Both sides can agree with the words and the meaning of Proverbs 22 verse 7, where it says the rich rules over the poor and the borrower is a slave to the lender. That's the NIV version. Another version, the Message, says the poor are always ruled over by the rich, so don't borrow and put yourself under their power. Another one says rich people have authority over poor people. People who borrow money have to serve those who lend it to them. That's the Easy English Bible. And I like this one. The rich rules over the poor. The man who uses something that belongs to someone else is ruled by the one who lets them use it. That's the NLV. If you've been listening to the news or even been to the supermarket, look, you just can't but notice you can no longer have the freedom to even put just the basic home brand products in your trolley because we can no longer afford them. Yep. Hey, wouldn't it be great to be able to shop like we did back in 1999? But New Zealand is no different to the rest of the world. Economically, we're all struggling. But it doesn't stop us from complaining, does it? Everywhere in the world is going through the same economic struggle. But no one would blame you if you were thinking, hey, it feels like it's being orchestrated. The money market's always been volatile, where the value of currency differs in each nation, and it's also dependent on its GDP ratio compared to spending. But dare I restate something I was saying in a previous discussion from a few years back, and it's true. We here in New Zealand are a nation of consumers, which means we spend more than we produce. It's always been that way. In simple terms, our economy is a bit like your credit card. It's always in the red. And like a credit card, we make regular payments, but the amount drops. Yeah? But sometimes the interest cost makes it feel like we're treading water. Well, much has been said about our debt levels in the country, about the huge amount the daily interest is costing and how many generations it's going to take to repay it. Now, in this country, we can point to the cavalier attitude of the previous government towards their fiscal responsibility. We can even make excuses and blame the pandemic for our financial demise. But as an elderly woman put it on the news one night, everybody's in the same boat, which is an unusual place to be. Now, when your economy is going down the toilet, along with some of the richest countries like China and the United States, you really do have to wonder where to from here. Our nation's debt is in the region of about $100 billion, but it pales against the sum of $20 trillion of debt in the USA. Easy fix, I hear you say. Well, print more money, as our former Finance Minister Grant Robertson found out. It's easy to print it, but it's got no real value. The US Treasury continues to print its dollar in order to keep the government afloat. Its own financial statements show just how insolvent the Treasury is. Now, to be honest, if it was a donkey or a pack horse, you'd put it down by now. But the rich rules over the poor. The man who uses something that belongs to someone else is ruled by the one who lets them use it, according to the NLV. Now, I mentioned the economy of countries like the manufacturing powerhouse China. Its economy is also heading towards the toilet, but China has a financial backstop. You see, many countries like ours have borrowed real money, and it's from countries which are more affluent than ours. And in the case of the US, well, they're heavily indebted to China. So you can see where I'm heading with this. Try telling your bank you're forfeiting payments. What's going to happen then? Well, the bank might let you live there for a short time. They'll even allow you to cut the grass, but very soon your loan is going to be recalled. Realistically, New Zealanders won't have to leave our shores, but as the city of Tauranga experienced recently, when you lose financial management of your home, or in their case the city, things change. When the people who actually own the money you borrowed take over, things are different. And if you think going to the supermarket is tough, imagine what it's going to be like when the financial restrictions really kick in. Now, all countries around the planet are in the same boat, as we mentioned, but you have heard that the expression, you'll own nothing, but you'll be happy. Unlike in previous financial crises, where it's become cyclical, this one was manufactured. A decision was made to stop the world and then reset it. Conspiracy theorists have been saying this thing for years, and for years we've scoffed at them, sometimes rightly, but wakey wakey. The Bible, the book, some scoff at its contents. It's not the manual for tin hat wearers, but it is a guide. It's our guide to the past, present and future. This holds prophecy about today, about our financial woes, about the culture, about the condition of the planet, about the impending food shortage, about how a one world government will control everyone and everything, and it also points to who will and does exercise control. Now, if you're exasperated by your credit card interest, feeling you're just working for the bank, well, feel like you're a slave to the system, then think of on a larger scale when we start talking about billions and trillions owed by countries. That book lots of people are scoffing at should be number one reading in every household, for not only does it give us the history of mankind through to the present day, but it also gives you hope for tomorrow. You may well be a slave, but in the Word of God, you'll find more riches than you can ever imagine. So the lesson is there in Proverbs, simply put, and it's easily understood. Take a look further. You'll find riches. You'll find more than you can ever imagine.